Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Galaxy Pod presented by yours truly, Slim. You follow myself on X at R2R30111. You can also follow your other host here at Scotty Drown. And yeah, man, it's a lot to kind of tap into. Basically, going to recapping the weekend. Darren
Sir.
Fox. I mean, what a weekend that brother had. Julius Randle game winner. Discussing my guy Scotty, his Philadelphia 76ers over there, as well as the Cleveland Cavaliers. They're still undefeated at the moment. So yeah, just basically recapping the weekend and diving into other few topics. But before we dive into any of them, I guess Scotty, how are we doing on this good Monday evening, brother?
Yeah, man. Monday, getting the week kicked off here the right way. Just breaking down the weekend action of basketball, man. I like the Monday setup after the nice weekend. We get to recap everything that kind of transpired over the weekend. So I kind of like this setup on Monday evenings. But I'm happy to be here with you. We got some stuff I'm actually really interested. You brought these topics to me today. And I'm actually really interested to get into him. De'Aaron Fox, just kind of giving him his flowers and really thinking about where he fits into the grand scheme of the NBA, right?
Hmm.
You mentioned like Minnesota over the weekend, some of the stuff that took place there. They beat the Suns and the Jazz, was it? Was it the Jazz?
Yeah.
Suns and Jazz over
Wait.
the Kings, excuse me, the Kings and Suns over the weekend. The buzzer beater was against the Suns
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
on
Yeah.
Sunday. So they had a ton of action. They took down some competition in the West. We can have a conversation around them, and then my Sixers, man, PG.
Yeah. We're gonna dive
I
into.
put that in the description just to be funny. You brought it to my attention. What the people are saying out there is Paul George cooked. I took my time today, Slim, after you sent that to me, to go and listen to Paul George's recent podcast, his most recent podcast P episode, just to see where his mind's at. Because I guess I'm giving him a little bit of grace as a Sixers fan personally, just because I know he's coming off of the injury, the minutes restriction, all of that. Joel in and out of the lineup, Maxi in and out of like. There's a lot going on, but there does need to be a standard of expectations set with Paul George, I think. And we could set it on this show, which I'm kind of excited about as well, man. But I'm feeling good on this fine Friday. We got 31 viewers in here already, which is beautiful.
Fine Monday, brother.
Yes, sir. Oh, man, did I say Friday? Did I say Friday? Look, I'm already at the end of the week, bro, but that's my bad. That's my bad.
It's all
No, but
good,
thanks for
man.
tapping in with us, everybody out there. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on the pod for sure. But let's get into it,
Definitely.
man. Let's get
Let's
into
dive
it.
to it, man. So, hey, the man on the thumbnail, brother De'Aaron Fox. I mean, this guy became just the third player in NBA history to have 109 points in consecutive games. He scored 60 on Friday, which is, I think, is now a franchise high for the Sacramento Kings. I could be wrong. I think so. And it's a career high for him for sure. And
Yeah.
then he followed up that performance with 49 points on Saturday. But, I mean, yeah, he did that. I think Friday, DeMar DeRozan and Sabonis both didn't play. So, I mean, what a perfect time to go out and score 60 and then to follow it up with 49 is quite impressive. But I mean, what are your thoughts on De'Aaron Fox, man? I mean, are a lot of guys still sleeping on De'Aaron Fox, or is he in that conversation as far as elite point guards in the NBA?
It's funny because my man Darius here is in the comments and he's saying who was sleeping on De'Aaron Fox, and I think that is like a perspective based question. That's why I loved it for the title, because
Yeah,
depending where you are, like you could be very high on De'Aaron Fox but still be sleeping on him. And so it
that's
just
true.
begs the question for me, man, where does De'Aaron Fox fit in the grand scheme of the NBA? Is he a top 25 player? Is he a top 20 player? Is he a top 30 player? Like, where does he fit amongst the greats in the NBA today?
Top
Right
five
now, you
point
look
guard,
at
yeah,
his
for
numbers,
sure.
bro. He's sixth in scoring in the NBA right now. I think looking at it here, it's Giannis, AD, Tatum, Jokic, LaMelo, and then De'Aaron Fox, sixth in scoring in the NBA right now. Obviously, just had the two monster games, but where do you think he fits in? Like, is he top 20, like 2025? Like, I'm not trying to
Oh
take it
yeah,
too
for
far.
sure. Yeah.
right? Like, how many point guards are you taking over De'Aaron Fox?
Well, at the moment, it's one, and you already know who that is. So, yeah. But at
Who
the
is it?
moment,
Who is the one? Who is the one? Are we not considering Luka a point guard, or are we considering him like an off guard, like an off ball guard?
I'll say this: at the moment, I have De'Aaron Fox over Luca because Luca has
Oh,
been
wow.
Luca. You know the numbers. Don't get me wrong;
Interesting.
he's putting up the numbers, but look at the shooting splits. It's not pretty good, man.
Yeah.
So
And defensively, Fox is better defensively for
yeah,
sure.
defensively. I mean, did you see that play? Luca fell asleep on John Collins. I think it
Yeah.
was Thursday or something like that.
Yeah, against the
But yeah,
Jazz.
yeah, that was kind of crazy. But I got to give Darren Fox his flowers. So yeah, at the moment I had Darren Fox over Luca, and the only guy I got over him is of course, my guy
Sure.
Steph. So
Oh, Steph, not even SGA.
nah,
Not even SGA over Fox?
nope.
Oh wow, man. Okay. I appreciate it because you standing on business. But that's what I meant though. Like who is sleeping on Fox? Maybe I'm sleeping on Fox.
He nice, you know. SGA,
Man, because like SGA is a no-go for me. SGA, I have to take SGA over Fox. Luka, I do get your point. Like a two-way player, man. Like I do get it. Luka just puts up just gaudy numbers. Taking him over Brunson. Who else is on this list? Kyrie Irving, if you're counting Luka as a point guard, then Irving has to be a shooting guard, right?
yeah.
You taking Fox over Kyrie?
Come on, man.
I know, I don't know. I'm biased to Kyrie's skill set. I feel like he's just such a skilled player. But
I mean,
Fox,
I'm gonna be
from a
biased towards
numbers
Fox
standpoint,
anyway, because I mean, he's my second favorite point guard behind Steph, so I'm gonna be biased towards him anyway. So
that's fair.
then I mean, you got LaMelo, you know, Trey Young, Tyrese Halliburton, Kay Cunningham, Darius Garland. You know,
Yeah, and at this point, I'm taking him over all of them.
yeah,
I'm taking him over Tyrese Maxey, quite honestly.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey, Halliburton. I don't think I'm missing anybody else.
Yeah, so I think for me, it would be Luka. And that one's on the fence, man. Like I am on the fence about that one. And I'm not trying to I don't know, Luka puts up gaudy numbers, bro. Like just ungodly numbers. And then obviously SGA, I'm going with SGA over Fox. Just from I would need to see Fox play at this this level, but he does though, man. I'm not trying to discredit him. Why do I have SGA over Fox in my mind?
Yeah, why do you have him over him?
Why is it?
Oh, I know why. Foul merchant. You kind of familiar with that, huh? You kind of familiar with it.
It is funny because when I think of SGA, I think of just having a more consistent go-to move. Mid-range, and you are right, get into the free throw straight. It counts though. It counts as a skill though. It is a skill.
It's a skill. I say it's a skill, yeah.
I do feel you. Fox, I think this might be the best way to put it. He's one of the best pure basketball players in the NBA. He plays a very clean, like you talk about the foul baiting and stuff. He doesn't do a lot of that. He gets to the cup. He has the mid range. He's now added a 3-point shot. And defensively, I think that is one side that he just doesn't get maybe enough credit for is his defensive prowess on the perimeter. Yeah. So top three guard, top four guard, at least top five for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I can get with that. LaMelo Ball. I just want to while we're here, LaMelo Ball and the numbers he's putting up this year. How are the Hornets doing? 5-8. They're 9th in the Eastern Conference right now. You think he can keep this up? He's what, 5th in the NBA in scoring right now?
I think he can keep it up. I mean,
close to 30
You
points.
always knew the talent was there with LaMelo, just a matter of him staying healthy.
Yeah.
Um,
Feels like he has freedom this year.
yeah, he could definitely keep this up. I mean, he's the guy, the franchise player. I don't see why not.
Yeah.
So,
He's just got to
um,
stay healthy.
yeah, and just gotta be more disciplined on defense because I did tune into a Fear the Hornets game, and LaMelo, he's not necessarily like disciplined enough on the defensive end. You know,
Yeah.
he makes a lot of silly fouls, but I guess he still got a lot to learn to do. He's only like what 4 years in now, so for 4 or 5 years.
I think you are right though. Like you're just kind of talking about like composure, like the mental aspect of the game. I think he just has to kind of mature a little bit more, right? And get accustomed to his role. I'm just looking down this list of scores. Like Karl Anthony Towns is top 10 in scoring right now, 26.4 points per game. Jokic. Is Jokic under the radar right now, or am I sleeping on Jokic? Because he's averaging a triple double, basically, to start the season here,
I
man.
don't think that a lot of people sleeping on him.
13.7 rebounds, 11.7
He's pretty much
assists.
leading that team in just about everything.
Everything.
Rebounds, assists, blocks.
30 points per game. He's shooting 50%, 56% from the 3-point line.
Jokic got his goatee, and he's been on a different type of timing.
Nuggets starting to play some better basketball too, so he's going to have to play at this level with the way they're structured for them to have success. But it's funny. I pointed out the Karl Anthony Towns thing. He's 10th in scoring with the New York Knicks right now in the NBA. We look at Minnesota over this weekend. You mentioned it to start the show. Minnesota gets 2 big wins over the weekend, right? In kind of different fashion. They were able to beat the Kings, even with the 60 from De'Aaron Fox in that matchup. They beat them in overtime. And then, of course, you mentioned Julius Randle hitting the game winner against them on Sunday against the Phoenix Suns on Sunday. I believe that was Sunday.
Devin Booker had 44 in that game.
Yeah, Devin Booker. He had 44 in that one. 7 assists, 6 rebounds as well. So get the big win over the Suns. Suns obviously don't have KD right now. I don't think they had Bradley Beal in that game either. But how are we feeling about the Minnesota T-Wolves and specifically Julius Randle's fit with this team? Obviously looking really, really confident.
Yeah, to be honest, man, I like what I've been seeing from Julius. He fits along, pretty nice alongside Ant-Man and even Rudy Gobert. I don't know his shooting percentage from 3-point range, but he has been, like a seamlessly fit. Whether it be him playing on the ball and off the ball, he's just been doing a pretty good job of, doing what it needs to be done to help the team win. So yeah, with Julius, I like what I've been saying for him. He hasn't really been trying to force the issue too much. And then ultimately last night he hit the game winner against the Suns. You can argue that may have been an offensive foul, but hey, he was able to get.
I don't know. He dropped him. That's what the highlight said on ESPN. Julius Randle drops defender, hits game winner.
But I'm not gonna lie, there was definitely some flopping in that too. Though. I'm not gonna lie. There was some flopping involved in that.
But I think you made a good point just about how Julius Randle's fitting in with the squad, and I think the bigger thing is on nights like this or days like this against the Suns where maybe Ant can't take over the game. Maybe there's a ton of attention on Anthony Edwards and they're doubling him nonstop, right? Julius Randle has the prowess to step in and be willing to take those shots. Now he's gotten several accusations in the past because he's too willing to step in to take those shots. But it feels like there's been several games this season where he stepped in at the right moment, had a big game, got on a heater, and was able to basically lead the T-Wolves to a win. Yeah. Also looking in these games, I see in the first matchup with the Kings, there were 7 T-Wolves that got into double figures in that game. Julius Randle and Jalen McDaniels, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley, Naz Reid, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And then against the Suns, 6 more T-Wolves get into double figures. Julius Randle, Ant, Rudy, Naz, Dante, and J-Mac once again. So spreading the ball around. They got more guys contributing. Do you think that this team could end up better than what the Minnesota Timberwolves that we saw in the postseason last year? Do you think that this could be a better fitting team now that maybe it's not necessarily Cat hitting the road per se, but the fact that you get Julius Randle, who maybe just fits the mentality or something around the culture a little bit better.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, yeah.
You think they're going to be better?
Yeah, and it's like, don't get me wrong, Dante hasn't had the best start to the season.
Right.
He's not shooting the ball particularly well, but I'm telling you, a guy like him in the postseason would be a nice fit alongside Ant-Man, because then you allow Mike Conley to get some rest. You know, he's been in the league quite a while, so he's a veteran. He can help facilitate the ball, bring the ball up, whatever needs to be done. And like you mentioned with Rondo's going to bring that physicality in the playoffs. I promise you he will. Yeah. That's not no knock on Cat, but Cat not this necessarily, physical type of dude. But Rondo, he's the type of guy that can get physical with you if need to be. So, yeah, I can see them definitely being better than they were last year. Because me, you just talked about this. Like, he went Ant-Man. Like, he's shooting like 40% on threes, and his attempts is way more than it was last year. So
they're up. Yeah. I wanted to just check really quick. And 11.3 attempts per game from the 3-point line this year, 42.4%. So
got the green light over there.
Yeah, and that's dangerous, right? Because we know what Ant can do with the rest of his game. He can get other guys involved. He can get to the rack. He can get to the free throw line. Has the mid-range game. If he just continues to shoot at this type of clip from the 3-point line, he's going to be borderline unstoppable. So, yeah, I think this team could be better, partly because of Randall, like you said, partly because of Dante DiVincenzo added to the mix. You got, other guys mixed in there, like the Joe Ingles of the world, guys with experience, right? But also Ant just getting better, like just evolving as a player, developing and becoming an even bigger superstar, figuring out the game even more, to your point. So, I think they could be better as well. They're 8-6 right now, so it's not like they're off to like this great start, but I think it is something that could get better over time as well. So we'll see how it plays out in the West. The West obviously is going to be really, really tough this season. So it's going to be heavy competition out there. Let's take it to the Eastern Conference, man. Let's talk about the Sixers real quick, though.
Yeah, let's talk about the Philadelphia 76ers, man. Coming from me, we had a pretty back and forth conversation going on this morning, man. And I just said, hey, man, is Paul George cooked? With a question mark. Is Paul George cooked? Because this is what the media is saying. Hell, even some of your 76er colleagues are even saying this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that, and then, we can dive to the Jared McCain making his case to be, rookie of the year for sure. I'm sure, no doubt, he'll be all rookie first team. But he's definitely making his case to even win the award. So, yeah, man, let's talk about the 76, man. I'll let you lead the way on that, man.
Yeah. Let's start with Paul George, because I think he's an interesting conversation point. Joel Embiid has been talked about nonstop throughout the beginning of this season. Of course, the drama around him. Now tonight, going against the Heat, he's doubtful with an illness. So it's not the knee, it's not the suspension. Now it's an illness. It's always something with him. But Paul George, he's the interesting one to me right now. When I look at the Sixers, how can they turn this thing around? And I do think it starts with Paul George. I think to your question earlier, no, I don't think Paul George is cooked. But once again, this is like a perspective thing, because is he cooked from being like a number one option? I think he is cooked from that standpoint, right? Like, I don't think he's going to come out and give you, 27, 28, 30 points a night. I don't think Paul George is going to do that, especially over a widespread, sample of games. But can he be a number two? Can he give you 20? Can he give you 23, 24 a night, right? Can he just be better than Tobias Harris on a night-to-night basis? These are the little things that I'm asking for of Paul George, man. So, no, I don't think he's cooked. I'm giving him a little bit of grace here. Just to give you an idea, his last, 5 games here, it's a mixed bag, I'll be honest. 13 points against the Magic. That was a horrible outing. 4 for 15 from the field. Gives me signs of hope against the New York Knicks. I talked to you about this earlier. 29 points, 10 rebounds in that game. Shot 10 for 19 from the field, 7 for 11 from the three-point line against the Knicks. That was the first game with Joel back. Before that, against the Hornets, 15 points, 9 assists, 6 for 18 from the field, 1 for 9 from the three-point line. So, once again, not great shooting. For that, 9 points, 4 for 13 from the field, 0 for 6 from the three-point line. Against the Clippers, 18, 7 rebounds, 7 for 9 from the field on a minutes restriction, only 24 minutes in that game. So, as you can kind of see, yes, there's been bad to horrible shooting, of course, but he is still kind of trying to work his way back into playing. But I will say this, we take the excuses off tonight, right? I kind of took it off on Friday against Orlando. I thought that was a game they should have won, even, without actually they had Joel Embiid. I don't even get to say that. They had Joel and they had Paul George. Orlando did not have Paolo Banchero.
I was just going to say they didn't have Paolo, did they?
Yeah, they did not have Paolo Banchero, and the Sixers still found a way to lose that game. That was kind of like the last straw for me, like giving them excuses and benefit of the doubt, giving them grace.
See, the thing with you guys' team is that you're going to have to get things clicking sooner than later because we are.
You got to win games.
Yeah, they're like everybody keeps saying, "Oh, we're not worried about the Sixers when they get in the playoffs," but you got to win to get into the playoffs.
Right.
So you just can't keep overlooking these games that you guys have been losing, like
2
losing
for
to
10,
teams like
2 and 10.
Yeah, like you 12 games in, like that's kind of unacceptable, to a certain extent. Don't get me wrong, Joel Embiid, he just make his return, but like you said,
there's certain games though.
Yeah,
there's certain games.
There are certain games that you should win. Yeah.
Like tonight, for example, bro. Like, don't get me wrong. You're going into Miami. It's a road game. Like, I get it. There's no Embiid tonight. You should have Paul George. You'll have McCain. You'll have everybody else except for Maxey and Embiid. Jimmy Butler is returning tonight, to be clear. He's returning, but he's returning from injury. It's not like he's coming back and being MVP
so
Butler
he should be
tonight.
on a restriction then.
Right. It should be similar to what we saw from Paul George, right? Like, on and off, right? So, not putting too much stock into that. There's no Terry Rozier tonight. There's no Jaime Jaquez Jr. tonight for the Heat. This is a game that the Sixers with Paul George can win.
Yeah.
Should they win? It's not that they should win. I'm not saying that. But it's a game, your back's against the wall. You have 2 wins on the season. You should be desperate for a W at this point. And so, you kind of should go down to Miami but beat a little bit, beat up type of Miami team there. Like, you're not going to get the best version of Jimmy Butler. Tyler Hero and Bam are playing some good balls, specifically Tyler Hero.
Yeah, Tyler Hero
played some of his best ball. But that's what I'm looking at. It's like these type of games. Like, even you can take it a step further even. Like, they've lost to the Pistons, they've lost to the Raptors, like, without Emmanuel Quickley, without RJ Barrett, without some of their best players. We've lost to teams like that as well, which that's where, like, there's just, like you said, there's absolutely no excuses. One bright spot, Jared McCain, you mentioned it. Obviously in the Rookie of the Year talk right now. Can he sustain it when Maxey returns specifically? That's what I'll be looking for if he can stay in that conversation. But I'm to the point right now, man, where I would be starting Jared McCain next to Maxey. I really would.
I would too. I mean,
like,
why not? The question is, why not? I mean, you look at your guys' roster. I mean, how many guys are you going to start over him?
Right.
Kyle Lowry, Kelly Oubre.
Right.
Eric Gordon.
And Kelly Oubre, man, like,
because Eric Gordon has not been playing too good for you guys. I've been checking the stats, man. He hasn't been shooting the ball particularly well. So
no. And that's the other thing. They need shooting. I think there's going to have to be like some type of move made. Like, that's the point I'm getting to. I said this to one of my buddies the other day, but I was looking at Oubre and like something just looks off with Oubre this season. Like, he looked so involved last year. He looked so intertwined, integrated with the team, and he was kind of a focal point. And this year, it's like he just can't find his footing consistently. I think Oubre has a ton of talent that he can contribute. I could ultimately see them maybe moving like an Oubre plus a KJ Martin, right, to make the salaries work. Maybe you're able to bring in something better before the trade deadline. I'm not begging to trade like a guy like Kelly Oubre. Don't get me wrong. I just
But you
think
should always explore your options.
always explore, and you look at Paul George, Caleb, Kelly Oubre. They kind of overlap each other in skill sets, things like that at the forward position.
Any
So
team with championship aspirations should always look to get better. So
yeah,
and then for me, like I know from firsthand with Kelly, what's it like to have him on the team. So
he's
he
up
can
and
be,
down.
yeah, he's definitely up and down, especially like from a shooting standpoint.
No, I completely agree. So the main thing here, the Sixers got to start winning some games. They got to
Oh, yeah,
start
for
winning
sure.
some games, or they're not even going to be worth talking about at a certain point anymore. So like that's where we're at, bro. Like we're on the NBA show. I can't just keep bringing them up
Yeah, because
like this 2-12 team and talking and like taking a full segment for these guys. Like
yeah,
they're not a
because
good basketball team right now.
right,
So
I mean, just like you told me, one name. If these guys want to start winning, just think about Cooper Flag.
yeah.
Why
And
not?
you know how much I would love that. I would love Easton Cooper Flag on the 76ers, bro. But that would mean that this season just went beyond horrible. I would imagine that would mean like Paul George is done for the year, Embiid done for the year, and they just try to go out there and win games with Caleb Martin, Oubre, Maxey, and McCain. And still, once again, that almost like still feels like they shouldn't lose that many games to me. But
No, the East is wide open. Like
the East is wide open.
wide
That's the
open.
craziest part.
Wide open.
If this was in the Western Conference, the season might be over already. Like, quite honestly.
Yeah, you're not lying about that.
Like, that's a crazy thing.
You're not
But
lying about that.
I wanted to ask you about another group of teams in the Eastern Conference. Let me be clear. You actually brought this up because there's a big matchup on Tuesday night. I don't know if you want to get into that a little bit. Who was it again that's playing Tuesday night?
The Boston Celtics against the undefeated 15-0 Cleveland Cavaliers. Man,
Jaylen Brown good for this game. He wasn't in the last matchup.
This is going to be a huge game, seriously.
Yeah.
Because if the Celtics be the first team to defeat this team, then that could kind of tell you something. They could also give you the blueprint as well. If you're other teams watching this game, you could take different notes or whatnot. But to me, I would say this. I think Cleveland wins, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Celtics somehow won. The reason I'm saying is because, number one, Kristaps Porzingis is not going to be playing in this game. To me, he's the key to beating a team like the Cavaliers, more so from the standpoint of him being able to stretch the opposing defense. Being able to, guys like Jared Allen and Mobley will have to then come out the paint more so than they're probably accustomed to. So, having a guy like Porzingis definitely would be the key in a matchup like this. But then again, the Boston Celtics are still a talented team for sure. But I think the Cavaliers gets it done, man, for sure. I really do.
That's interesting, man. This one's in Boston. I think Jaylen Brown is going to be in. I'm looking for the Celtics to kind of like I don't know, man. Like I'm like on the brink of like rooting for the Celtics, but it feels wrong.
Yeah, don't let your fellow Sixers fan hear you saying that.
I know that sounds crazy. But look, after the Celtics, who is really going to knock them off? I mean, to end the month of November, they got the Pelicans at home in Cleveland, the Raptors at home in Cleveland, the Hawks at home in Cleveland, and then the Hawks in Atlanta to finish out this month. If they beat the Celtics, they're going to go undefeated throughout the first 2 months of the season.
I will say this. That's kind of the most obvious thing, but I would not be surprised because I've seen crazier things. I've seen it firsthand. I mean,
if the Hawks beat them, is that where you're going?
We started the season like 24-0. That year we won 73 games, was it? And I think we lost our first game to the Bucks that year, if I'm not mistaken. It was some team like that. It was basically like, like an underdog type team. So I just wouldn't be surprised if the Pelicans or the Atlanta Hawks were to be the team to, get over their first loss. So
maybe a night where the Cavs come out, asleep early and get taken advantage of. But that's the thing. They've been coming back. They've been down in like every game, and they just come back in the fourth quarter. Donovan Mitchell turns it on, and he makes every shot. Like, they did it against the Sixers. That's why I say that. And they're talking about how many times they did it over the season. Like, we took them, like, kind of to the wire without Joel Embiid and Paul George on the tail end of a back-to-back last week.
Mhm.
And at the end of the game, Donovan Mitchell just says, nah, I'm the best player on the court. I'm going to make every shot to end this game, and we're going to beat you. And they ended up beating us by 10. But going into the fourth quarter, it was like tied, or we may have even had the lead in that game. But that's what they do. They just kind of lure you to sleep, and then they just kill you at the end of the game, man. Donovan Mitchell is playing some efficient basketball. Darius Garland is really impressing me this year, and then obviously the two bigs.
I got to give it to him.
But they have such a well-rounded team, man, and Max Strus isn't even playing yet.
Like, you talk about well-rounded. Look at guys like Ty Jerome. I mean, this player just dropped 24 points. He just dropped 24 points in like less than 20 minutes.
Yeah. Even is it Isaac Okoro?
Isaac Okoro.
Isaac Okoro. He's been playing some good basketball, shooting the ball well. Defensively, he's great. Obviously, Karis LeVert, kind of that like 6-man scoring punch type of guy. Yeah. They cover all the bases. That's what's crazy. They can spread the floor. Even they rebound. Like they defend. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He's a former Sixer as well.
Like the way we're talking about this Cavs team, it's like, are they the best team in the NBA right now? Like they have the best record, obviously, but like, are you taking them up against anybody right now with the way they're playing?
Yeah, for sure. The way they're playing right now, this team is ranked number one in offense. They rank number one in offense. They rank number one in 3-pointers, and I think they're top 5 in defense. So. Yeah, this team has been rolling. I got to give Kenny Atkinson a lot of credit. This guy to me is the clear-cut coach of the year. I mean, he had these guys rolling since training camp. Like, these guys have been locked in, laser locked in. So you got to give him a lot of credit. He just came over from the Golden State Warriors coaching staff. He's been in the system with us for the past 3 years, I think. So yeah, shout out to Kenny, man. He got those guys locked in. So
this
team is the best team in the league for a reason. So
yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. And your Warriors, I just took a peek. Got that number 1 seed right now. I see you. I see you talking about best teams in the league. Well, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you, man. The Warriors are playing some good basketball.
Because I know what you're going through right now with your Sixers, and it's not a good feeling. You can kind of catch yourself being in a depressed mood from not from an in real life, but from a basketball standpoint. You kind of be depressed. Yeah. Your team is losing.
Yeah, bro, you're right. I'm glad you said that because you make me feel a little normal, man. Because like right now, I'm an Eagles fan too. The Eagles balling. Yeah. The Eagles balling right now, but. The Sixers are sucking ass.
Bills gave the Chiefs their first loss. So,
I do love that. I love that over the weekend, bro. But no, it is. I'm glad the Warriors. I think it's good for basketball that the Warriors are back, like in the conversation in the West for sure. Yeah. But man, I think I'm gonna take the Celtics to beat the Cavs tomorrow, bro. I think I am gonna take the Celtics.
I wouldn't be shocked if they were to get it done.
Just because I feel like that's like something for the Celtics like to be motivated to do. Do you know what I mean? Like they won the championship, they won 60 plus games. Let's end this 15-0 streak. Let's be the team that does it. But I will say that will make it an even bigger win for Cleveland. If they do ultimately win that game, because I don't think Boston's going to come out there asleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel you on that. And you said, just like you said, that the Celtics want to come out and make a bigger point. Just like on opening night, they put belt to ass to the defense. It was like that was a true statement win. Like
it was because that was the one team everybody was penciling in against the Celtics to start the season. You see Jason Tatum's little travel to win against the Raptors the other night. His little Cupid shuffle.
The part that kills me the most about that is that I feel like so a day later the report came out he traveled.
Yeah.
What does that change? Like you can't go back
in time. That's supposed to make you feel better.
Yeah, like guys, I'm pretty sure a lot of guys' parlays were messed up off that.
Absolutely, that's a great point.
Like seriously,
that is a great point.
That's wild, man.
It is wild, man. Let me ask you this before we get out of here, Slim. Both of our teams play tonight, so let's pick the game.
Let's go.
We got Miami and Philly. It's in Miami. No Joel. Probably. Well, Joel's doubtful. I don't know if it's been confirmed yet. Probably has by now. But PG should be in. Everybody else should be in except McCain or Maxey and Embiid. Who do you like in that game, man?
Man, okay. I have a lot of respect for those guys in Miami down there. No doubt about it. I
I
respect the
know
hell out
you
of them.
do.
And Bam is my guy. Bam is my guy. But for the sake of you, for your sanity, man, I'm going to root for your Sixers to get this job done. Now, if they don't get the job
I
done, man,
appreciate that.
I can't keep rooting for them, man. They keep,
They
But
2-11. I mean, yeah, I
I
don't
think they
know.
handle business tonight, though. I'm pretty sure Paul George has been seeing it. A lot of guys saying he cooks, so
Yeah, they need this one. They need to answer the call. I do feel you. I like
13, 30-point.
I like the Sixers to win
But
too, but I'm
PG,
biased. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm biased. Warriors at Clippers, bro. How we feeling going into this one?
Feeling good. We got some key guys out. Deadman Melton. It's just unfortunate. He just came back and he's already out. Kevon Looney, he's going to be out. I think we can handle business against the Clippers for sure. Yeah, I'm going to go with us.
Yeah, I think you guys can as well. I think you just have a little too much for them, quite honestly. I think you do have a lot of options for scoring, shooting, spacing the floor. I see Stephen Curry as a game time decision, so I mean that'll be interesting. I think this is a game. I'll be honest. I think you could beat them maybe even without him. I'm not saying I'd put my money on that, but I think you do have enough depth that you can get by for a game without Steph. But
yeah, they gave us our first loss of the season. That's the game Steph got injured, so he couldn't finish the game.
So you got to get that one back.
Yeah, you got to get that one back for sure. Yeah.
So yeah, I do like the Warriors tonight. They're 5.5-point favorites in LA. I do think like the LA Clippers, like I think they've been like solid to start the season, but I do think there's just like a point in the season where it has to take like a downturn. I just don't see them being in like the playoff chase with the Western Conference, but
especially like with Kawhi not even wrong. So
yeah, no Kawhi, right? Like it's got to give at some point. Like credit to Norman Powell playing out of his mind right now. He's balling.
Mr. Addition by subtraction.
Yeah. It's funny. I had to listen to Paul George like break that down, and he was saying how Norman Powell is right. He's like, Paul George is such a good dude, man. Honestly, like that is why I find myself like giving him grace, because I listened to his pod before he even got to the Sixers, and I kind of liked him anyways. And he always was like that, like, you know, like that wing player that does have a bag and like can shoot it from anywhere and can defend. Like he is like that prototype type of player that you would love to have.
Yeah, for sure. That's why you see guys like Brandon Miller calling him their GOAT. It's just like their play style. Like it's nice to see.
So I'm hoping to see something big from PG tonight, man. I want him to show up. He was a topic on the show if he's cooked, bro. Like we can't be talking about that. Like, come on, let's just come out tonight, have a 30 ball in the Heat, get a W, get the third W of the season, and set the vibe straight, bro. I'm looking for something special. Let's get out of here, bro. Man, I see 174 people in here watching right now. If you haven't, head over to the Galaxy Pod on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, turn the notifications on, and you'll be notified each and every time we go live here on the channel. We're trying to get it out to you guys 2 times a week. It's been the last 2 Mondays. We've also had a Friday mixed in there as well, so maybe that will be the schedule going forward, but we'll definitely keep you guys tapped in. If you want to give Slim a follow on X, at RTR30111 is where you can find him. You can find me at Scotty Drown. You can find the pod at To The Galaxy Pod on X. And of course, To The Galaxy Pod is presented by DSM Media. You can find DSM Media at DSM_media. Do something major. Slim, any final regards before we get out of here, my man?
Man, hopefully both our teams get this dub, man. And that's all I got to say.
Let's get the W. You said the vibe straight. And maybe we get a midweek pod in if the vibes are set
man.
straight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get me back in. Bring me back in, Sixers. So that's what we're looking for tonight. Have a great night, everybody. Peace.
Peace.